What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to recap my short trade on EFTR. So I'm going to break down my entries and exits and some risk management techniques I like to use. So this is a big runner on the daily chart. As you see, it ran from $9 up to 40 yesterday. Today it gapped into resistance, so I took a short. It's also a breakout on the daily level, so that's why the 29 area is holding up rather well. So I'm a little bit I'm quite cautious on this because it's almost noon. Usually these things break down by noon, and I'm not entirely sure if the market maker wants to ramp this up for one more day, but nevertheless I'm going to hold it. I'm going to risk even on the day, and I'm going to look for this to fade, looking for this 29 area to break soon, hopefully. But so to break down this trade, if you look at the 5-minute chart, there's some resistance here in the mid to low 30s. So we had this huge spike in the morning, and when the stock is on low liquidity, SSR, and short sellers are piling in at the open too aggressively, they skip these things up, and you can lose 30, 40, 50% in a couple minutes. So I had an order waiting here at 33, partial order, limit order, only for 1/4 size. Got filled. This thing went a little bit farther than I expected because it was on SSR. I re-entered, added a little bit, and then what I did is I actually, since I was down a little bit from like 32, I actually got out of my position for even. And the reason why I do that sometimes is when the candles are like this, where they have pretty low range and they're low liquidity candles. Usually that means that the market maker doesn't have the liquidity to get out, and the longs aren't shaken out yet. So these little candles are usually just more traps for short sellers to slam lows, and then they ramp the stock back up, and they go for a high of day clear out like they did here. So I was happy I did that, and then I shorted more on this fake out, got a bad fill because of SSR. But yeah, so that's a good technique when you see like a stock that's ripping and you see tiny, very slow, low range, low liquidity candles. It's always good to either size down or size out completely, because there's likely a ramp coming. And the reason why that is because the market maker, he has to get out of his position, and it's a big one. So he will ramp the stock over high of day in order to create that liquidity, that buying volume, in order to, one, stop out shorts, buying volume, and to bag chasing longs. So reason why I'm a little bit skeptical of the stock now, even though I'm still holding it, is that this 29 level on the daily chart has been holding well. It's almost noon, and I expect this to be dead by now. I expected this to be sub 30 by noon. So if it happens to squeeze to my entry, I'm just going to cut it even and reattack it tomorrow. Unless perhaps we can get a nice death candle now under 29. I think that will kill it. Let's see. But yeah, this is how I manage risk on these plays. I don't mind sizing out and waiting for that ramp. And in low liquidity markets like we've been seeing this summer, and as we may see for a couple more weeks, the market maker will go with these tactics, these high of day fake outs, because there isn't that authentic volume. But going forward, some adaptations as we head into October through March, the hot trading months. I expect some organic liquidity to return, but that means that there's going to be a lot of volume coming in. So what that means is my personal adaptations is going to be shorting these day one gappers a lot later in the day and with less size, and being extremely careful. And I'm going to focus more on the multi-day runners. And like I said, I don't personally short opens unless there's massive resistance, and I think that the algos will target a lot of short sellers that are just hammering opens, because they've been getting away with it lately because the liquidity is very low. But yeah, all in all, I do expect there to be a supernova within the next 3 weeks, like we had last year after a slow market, some kind of SPI, and that'll get the market going. We'll have 100-200% gappers. The algos will be equipped to target shorts with wild risk, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, so I'm kind of rambling here about the overall conditions, but this is my trade. I'll post the profit in the title. Verification will be on Twitter. And please drop a like if you enjoyed it. Appreciate it. Gets me to produce these videos a little bit more often. And follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. And see you guys in the next video.